audio description has been enabled for this program and includes narration of explicit visual content intended for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Reimagining Excellence. I'm your narrator, Osama Sakantor. The year was 1997.
They call him prime time.
Deion Sanders stood at the summit of fame, an icon in cleats, a living highlight reel.
Deion Sanders.
To the world, he was primetime, the ultimate showman.
We've never seen a guy like this.
A two-sport phenom who could snatch a football out of the air at full sprint and steal second base without breaking a sweat. Stadiums roared when he walked onto the field. Cameras trailed his every move. Brands clamored to plaster his face on their products. But in the stillness of his own world, far from the glare of the stadium lights, Deion was unraveling. The mansion was quiet. Too quiet. Marble floors echoed every step. Sunlight poured through towering windows, but did little to lift the heaviness that settled over the home. The scent of fresh leather from the garage, the sharp bite of expensive cologne in the bathroom, the glint of platinum watches resting in velvet boxes, all of it, once intoxicating, now felt hollow. He sat in a high-backed chair at the edge of his bedroom, the ticking of a decorative wall clock dragging time along like chains. The air felt thick, not with heat, but with sadness. Unspoken questions hovered in the silence.
I was up under extreme, as I would call it, stress, pressure, and I didn't no longer want to be here, man. And that was, God was calling me collect, and I wouldn't accept the charges.
His wife was a tall, striking image of beauty, and their love and romance started like many young love stories, with hope, promise, and dreams of forever. The more he lost sense of himself, the more he lost touch with his home life. But the demands of his image of always being on had carved a wedge too deep to ignore. The man who could dominate on Sundays felt powerless in his own home. Arguments turned to silence. Smiles turned to mask. Eventually, all that was left was emptiness.
And everybody else, they loved what I did, but they didn't love me because they didn't know me. Because I really wasn't prime, I was Deion. They didn't know that cat. That's who Chad and all them know. You know, they didn't know that cat.
The world couldn't see that though, because that's not what the fans were paying to see nor hear about. That's not what sponsors wanted to prompt.
I think I was maybe in 3 or 4 that night. A couple stolen bases still. Next morning got up and it was the side of this highway, down this highway in Cincinnati, ran right off.
It wasn't just the marriage. It was the burden of being larger than life. Every room he walked into, he had to be primetime, the entertainer, the confident, loud, glittering version of himself the world expected. But when the doors closed behind him and the chains came off, there was just Deion, a man, a human who has real emotions. Not a myth, but a shattered black man aching for something real. The accolades no longer stirred him. Even winning, that old familiar drug, didn't satisfy the hunger inside. Deion was surrounded by luxury, but starving for peace. He paced the house in the middle of the night. The silence was so loud it rang in his ears. No crowds, no cameras. Just the sound of his own footsteps and thoughts that wouldn't stop spiraling. He had money, he had success, he had fame, but he didn't have himself. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. Be sure to come back next week for episode 5 and 6. Be sure to like and subscribe. You can also listen on Apple Music, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Listen to all new episodes every Tuesday and Wednesday.